So my name is Katie McDowell and I am a placement coordinator here in City of Glasgow College. I work in the Faculty of Education and Humanities, organising placements for our social care and early years students. So my personal experience is my son Isaac was born with a genetic condition, albinism, which impacts his vision as he has difficulty producing melanin. This means that he has low visual acuity. In general, his near and distance vision are both quite poor, but he also has other elements that impact his vision. So he has nystagmus, which is an involuntary movement of the eyes. His eyes go from side to side, and you kind of maybe notice that's more when he's tired. He's also photophobic, which means that sunlight really impacts him, so he finds it difficult to cope in bright lights, and he has poor depth perception. So in unfamiliar environments, then this can be difficult if, for example, it's an older building and there's stairs that don't have the bright yellow treads on the edge. Isaac might not notice that it's stairs that he's going down. So with this kind of personal experience, then it really helps me in my role then with assisting any students that we have who are blind or partially sighted. So I think a really simple thing that anyone can do is to use the individual's name when you're kind of addressing them or trying to involve them. So I suppose in like a classroom environment, just to use the individual's name when you're speaking to them, because they might not be picking up on your kind of facial cues or see the fact that you're actually looking at them. So that's one small thing that you can do. I suppose another is to be mindful of the kind of the classroom environment. So we have a lovely bright building here at City of Glasgow College, but for someone who perhaps has photophobia, then having sunlight shining in can really have a negative impact for them. So just make sure that you're using blinds or letting the individual wear a hat in the classroom. So iPads have many accessibility features, and I'm probably not as much of a technical whiz as my son, but I know that he finds the features of the iPad really beneficial, whether it be to be zooming in or taking pictures and zooming in, or using text-to-speech applications. Then yeah, iPads are very good. We are also currently looking at what's called a Coast Duo, which is, Coast stands for camera on a stick, and that will connect to an iPad and then can focus on the screen that's being used in class, and then send the information to the iPad so that it's clearer for Isaac to see what his teachers are saying. Initially, we found it quite challenging at school when Isaac was learning Braille, and he was having to use a Perkins Brailler, which is quite a chunky piece of equipment that looks like a typewriter, but he was also learning to read Braille, and as a parent that was difficult because it was hard for me to help him to do that. But fortunately, like, books that he was having to read would have text, and I was then able to tell if he was reading correctly. But for us, kind of at that point, it was a very slow process to read Braille and to be able to answer in Braille. So that was going to be a challenge moving forward. We were lucky enough though that Isaac was on the cusp, so he did learn Braille up to level 1, but over the past couple of years he's actually learned to touch type, which now is a great skill that he'll be able to use throughout the rest of his life. He has a keyboard that connects to an iPad, and it allows him to sit in class and either take his notes on his iPad or to reply to his teacher or complete his work via touch typing and not having a clunky brailler. It is a fact that 1 in 5 people will actually live with sight loss in their lifetime. I think obviously we think of maybe the older generation and cataracts and macular degeneration, and we don't really think about it impacting the younger generation to the same extent. So on the back of obviously my son living with a visual impairment, we found that he didn't have many peers that he could relate to going through a kind of a similar thing. So it's led to looking into different organisations that are around to support kind of socialisation for individuals that are living with blindness or are partially sighted. And I discovered the charity VICTA, which stands for Visual Impaired Children Taking Action. So VICTA are a small UK charity. They're based down in Milton Keynes, and they do tremendous work for the children and young adults, running camps, creating access to opportunities, but they also have a parent support network as well, which is really beneficial. But the real thing is that our children are getting to meet their peers and have a chat with individuals who are similar to them, which they wouldn't really get in day-to-day life. Because of the great work that VICTA do, and because I also like a challenge, then I decided to run the London Marathon this year for VICTA. I completed the marathon and I have my medal here just to prove it. So that's obviously been kind of great personal achievement for myself, but I'm also hoping to kind of raise awareness of the work of the charity and moving forward to kind of support them with their work in Scotland as well, because they're very active in England, but they do run camps in Scotland. But I think there's probably more that we can all be doing together. And I've actually, I think I've managed to recruit one of my colleagues, Ollie Brooke, who's going to run the 2026 London Marathon for VICTA, so it's now on camera and it's official, Ollie, as well. But yeah, thank you.